My name is Lisa Alastuey, and on this channel, you will find a variety of inspirational and informational videos. My video this week is a hiking video that I did in the Grand Canyon this year. Last year, I hiked the North Rim to the South Rim, and this year I did the South Kaibab Trail up the Bright Angel Trail at the South Rim. So I did this hike on May 20th, 2023, and it was a great day to do it. The temperatures are going to swing when you do this hike, so keep that in mind. When we started the hike, it was around 5:30 in the morning, and so it was, dawn and the sun was coming up. So the weather was pretty ideal for this hike. Now, the trail is very well maintained. It is a dirt trail and it is steep. You're going to actually be going down 7,260 feet. So do plan on that. When I did the North Rim, I still did the same elevation drop and it did hurt my knees. It could be maybe because I didn't train enough going down. For some reason, when I did the South Kaibab Trail, it didn't hurt my knees as much. But do plan on that. And when you do this type of hike, I highly recommend that you take hiking poles and plan for the weather. As I made my way down a couple miles, it started to rain on me, but we had planned for that. We had our rain gear. I had my rain jacket, and it wasn't a torrential rain, but it was actually very nice. It was very cooling. Didn't even mind the rain. So just make sure that you plan for this, that you get in shape, have your physical fitness ready to hike this hike. It can be strenuous. In fact, the Grand Canyon does not recommend that you do this hike. They would recommend you do shorter hikes because, people do get injured. People do die in the canyon. According to the National Park Service, approximately 250 people have to be rescued out of the canyon every year. For a multitude of reasons. It could be because of heat exhaustion, heat exertion, injuries, falls, hyponatremia, a whole host of things. So just be safe, hike smart, make sure that you pack plenty of water because there is no water in the canyon, except at a couple stops along the way, but there's stretches where there's no water. So I highly recommend, depending on your size, to take 2 to 3 liters in your backpack. And also make sure that you take plenty of food. That includes electrolytes and salty snacks. I also recommend that, you rest often. Rest is needed. It's not a race. You want to enjoy your time in the canyon. Also with gears, because of the temperature swings, you're going to want to take layers. Like I said, we started around 44 degrees at the top of South Kaibab Trail. By the time we got to the Grand Canyon floor down to Phantom Ranch, it was around 95 to 100 degrees. So that's a big swing. Plan to have layers that you can take off, put back on as needed. And then also make sure you take a headlamp. Last year when I did the North Rim to South Rim, I finished the last couple miles in the dark, and I'm glad I had the headlamp. This year, my goal was not to do that, to be able to see those last couple miles of the trail, which I did. I was able to finish this in about 12 hours. So I finished around 5:30 p.m. And, but just in, back up, always make sure that you have the appropriate gear with you so that you don't have to worry about those things. Okay, so going down the South Kaibab Trail, it is not shaded. Again, another important gear, a hat, sunglasses. But your first mile down, you're going to come to the Ooh-Ah Point, and it is a spectacular view of the canyon. I highly recommend you stop, take some photos, take it in. It's absolutely gorgeous. Then the next stop is called Cedar Ridge. That's about 1.5 miles down. Another great place for photo ops and a view of the canyon. The next marker down that you're going to see is at the 3-mile marker down is Skeleton Point. And this is probably the last time you're going to have cell service. The further you go down, there is no cell service. When you're coming up the Bright Angel Trail, you won't get cell service again until that 3-mile marker coming up. But that's also another very cool spot. Once you get to Skeleton Point, you'll be able to have your first view of the Colorado River, which you're going to be making your way down. As you go down the South Kaibab Trail, it's very beautiful. It's just a really beautiful trail. I'm glad I had the opportunity to see it because they're all different. The North Rim looks different than the South Rim. The South Kaibab Trail looks different than the Bright Angel Trail. So if you have the opportunity, desire, time, money, all of that, highly recommend that you do these trails. Okay, as you make your way down the South Kaibab Trail toward the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon floor, you're going to cross over a black metal bridge, and that's the older bridge in the canyon. And that's a very cool experience to have. Once you get past that bridge, you're going to walk, I think, about 1.5 miles or so to Phantom Ranch. And that's a great rest stop to get refreshments. They sell their ever popular lemonade, but they also have snacks and some supplies. I highly recommend that you purchase the postcards because the postcards have a red stamp on them that says that these postcards are carried out by the mules, which is a cool souvenir and collectible that you can send to friends and family. The concession stand is also, they take credit cards, so that's something easy to pack and plan for. We stayed at Phantom Ranch for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. We got there around 10 o'clock, 10-ish in the morning, and we left there around 11 o'clock-ish. But just enjoy the Phantom Ranch time. I definitely highly recommend that you make that extra little trek over there versus just going straight up the Bright Angel. You definitely want the experience of the Phantom Ranch. Okay, as we were making our way out of Phantom Ranch to go up the Bright Angel Trail, which it's very well marked, you will see that we saw the first mule train, and this was a supply mule train that had just come down the South Kaibab Trail. And I got a video of it that I'm going to pop up. And it was just so cool because one of my goals from last year of doing the rim to rim was to see the mules, because my dad, when he was a young man, was a mule guide in the Grand Canyon. So it has a sentimental reason for me. And I didn't get to see the mules last year, so I was bummed. But this year I got to see them not only once, but twice. I got to see the mule train that was providing the supplies to Phantom Ranch. And then also I saw a second mule train on the Bright Angel that was bringing down the tourist. And so that was a very cool experience. Just a little tip, if you do pass the mules, make sure that you stop. You don't want to startle or spook the mules. Now they are experts in going down these trails, but still we want, for the safety concerns, just, step aside and give them the right of way and enjoy the mules go by. Okay, as you're heading up the Bright Angel Trail, you're going to cross over a silver bridge. So the black metal bridge was coming down the South Kaibab Trail, and then the silver metal bridge is the one going up the Bright Angel Trail. And so that's the newer one. As you're making your way up the Bright Angel Trail, there's lots of different beautiful views and the Colorado River as you're making your way up. So again, on the Bright Angel Trail, I saw the tourists coming up. I got video of that. I'm going to pop that up here so you guys can see it. It's very cool. So if you can't hike it and you prefer to do a mule ride, I hear there is a very long wait to do that. There is also a weight requirement. I believe it is, you can't be more than 200 pounds to ride the mules for the safety of the mules. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, put that down below. But if you don't want to hike it, that is an option to go down into the canyon via the mules. Okay, your first major destination stop, I would say, is Indian Gardens. That's another bathroom stop, and they also have water that you can fill up your water bottles. So maybe spend a little bit of time there. I got to Indian Garden around 1:30. So I left Phantom Ranch around 11. Just to give you a time reference, this is for me. It could be more or less for you, depending on your goals and how hard you're going or not going. All right, so Indian Garden is still the 4-mile marker. So the one way to think of this is you still have 4 miles to go. It's about an hour a mile. So you still have four more hours to go. Okay. Again, could be more or less depending on the individual. The next mile marker is the 3-mile marker. And that is where you should have your cell phone coverage again. I was able to FaceTime family and friends at the 3-mile marker. As mentioned, when I did the North Rim to South Rim, it was beginning to get dark around the 3-mile marker, and I knew I was going to finish in the dark when I did it last year. This year, my goal was not to finish in the dark, and I knew since I had got to the 3-mile marker around 3-ish, 3 o'clock, I was going to finish in the daylight. So I was super excited to be able to document, get photos, videos of those last 3 miles, because I didn't even have an idea of what the steep elevation was when I was on that trail in the dark. As I was making my way up the 3-mile marker, it should be pointed out that it is still very tough. You just went 15 miles. You're already tired, exhausted. And so those last 3 miles are challenging. Do not think that they're an easy 3 miles. You still have possibly 3 more hours, an hour a mile. I remember passing this one girl in those last 3 miles and she was in excellent shape, but she was sitting down, throwing up, got sick, probably overexerted, the heat exhaustion, just everything kind of all, happening. And so luckily she was getting help with her partner there assisting her. But you do have to realize that, you can get sick if you're not careful. So proper hydration, foods, salt, all of those things are going to be key. After the 3-mile marker, you're going to come to the next stop, which is the 1.5-mile marker. I got there around 4:15. So I knew I still had another hour, 45 minutes to get to the top. So again, I finished around 5:30 p.m. and it was amazing. So it was about a 12-hour day for me since I started around 5:30, finished around 5:30 p.m. And it was about 18 miles total. When I did the north rim to south rim, it was about 26 miles. So I cut out that long stretch on the north rim to south rim. And so it was a little bit shorter. So it doesn't take as long to do the South Rim, South Kaibab up the Bright Angel Trail. But it was an amazing experience. I highly recommend it. If you, again, have the desire, the money, the opportunity, plan for it. This is something that you will get back in spades with memories. And so if you have done it, please leave a comment down below. Tell us some tips, strategies, stories, experiences that you had hiking the Grand Canyon. I would love to hear them. And that's basically it. I have a video montage that I put together of my experience of the South Kaibab Trail up the Bright Angel. So I hope you enjoy it.